So I'm going to give you the absolute best and the easiest sourdough recipe ever. This is a completely plastic-free sourdough recipe. Okay, so you start with a really big bowl. One of the things that really made sourdough work for me was using a scale, so definitely do that. And this is the only sourdough recipe that has actually worked for me. I struggled so much. It only has 4 ingredients, and typically I'll feed my sourdough starter the night before, and then when I mix my ingredients together, usually I start at around 7 p.m., my sourdough hasn't been fed for a full 24 hours. Okay, so I get my 4 ingredients together, and then I use probably the coolest kitchen utensil ever, and I mix it just until it comes together. Like, I really don't overmix it. And then you can either wrap it in a dish towel, or I got these really cool, like, it's like a cotton hairnet, basically. This is what my sourdough starter looks right when I'm about to use it. So this has been, and really it should be the consistency of brownie batter. I never like measure when I'm feeding my starter. I just do equal parts flour and water and just make sure that it's super thick like this. Okay, so I wait about 30 minutes and then I do my first stretch and fold, where basically I just take a little bit from the outside, I stretch it and pull it into the center, and I just do that until I go all the way around, and then I cover again, and then I let it rest for another 30 minutes, and then I do it one more time, and then I let it sit overnight. And so now this is like 10 a.m. the next morning, basically, and now I'm going to shape my dough, okay? So I shape my dough, and you can kind of see that I'm like pressing the back and then pulling it, and it really gets it into this tight little ball, so it's not loose anymore. And I try to not knock out the air as much as I possibly can. So then I have my bread holder. I have this little platinum silicone like lifty thing, but honestly, it doesn't make that much of a difference, but whatever. Make sure everything is really, really coated in flour, and then I cover it with my cotton hairnet again, and then I let that rest. Usually it's another 1 to 2 hours. Now, sometimes when it's going a little slow or it's super cold, I will actually have a little pot full of hot water in the back. That will speed up the proofing process. So then I transfer my bread into my dish. Now, this is an actual Le Creuset bread oven that my husband got me for our anniversary. And then I do little cuts. I've seen some really cool ones. I'm not very good at the designs, but this one is supposed to look like a little Christmas tree. I preheat my oven to 425, and I keep the lid and the base in there heating for at least half an hour. So when I pop everything in, it's super crispy. So first, depending on your oven, this was 35 minutes. And then I let it bake for another 5 minutes without the lid, just to get it a little bit crispier on the top. And voila, it is so incredibly delicious, fresh out of the oven. And then I just got these big paper, like bread storage bags off of Amazon, and I'll just store it there on the counter, or I give to friends in those. But just look how spongy and like fresh and moist this is. It is absolutely delicious. This is the only recipe that has ever worked for me. I have it memorized. Every time I try a different recipe, it does not work out, but I highly, highly recommend it, just because sourdough, not only does it taste way better, but it is just so much easier for your body to process, and it's just better for you. But oh my God, there was nothing better than having a freshly baked loaf of sourdough with delicious butter and really big sea salt. So good.